Hey, welcome to another episode of Geekoutdoors.com. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but sometimes it takes it a little too far. Such is the case with this game called Riot City. This is actually made by Sega, and if you are familiar with fighting games, this probably looks really familiar with a game called Final Fight. And I cannot say that Sega is actually wrong for doing this because, Final Fight was extremely popular. And so, a lot of game manufacturers will look at what other games that have been made that are popular and then try to, if not recreate it, try to get some of that. And this one, even down to like the type of music and the intro, this is like Final Fight through and through. Now, about the only thing that's different, besides the fact that the characters don't look exactly the same, is that the moveset, it has some I would say Fatal Fury type moves, like right there, that is from Fatal Fury. Okay, so I think Terry Bogard had that move. And other things, they do try to change it up a little bit, but if you actually are a person who played a lot of Final Fight, this is almost a beat for beat, which is, kind of okay, I guess. I mean, but at the same time, if you've played Final Fight, then you probably will not like this game because this is an extremely generic game. There really isn't anything that stands out, as you can see. Now, beyond that, is it a fun game? Well, it's okay. Okay, I mean, that's what I really have to say. It's an okay game. It does have its moments where it's kind of fun, but the thing that's a big problem with this game is it tries so hard to be like Final Fight that it doesn't do anything else that makes it unique, and that's the huge problem. Okay, so the more I play this, the more I think like I'd rather be playing Final Fight. Okay, and also other things that are, I would say, very below average to below average is, first, the graphics. I mean, they're okay, but the thing that bothers me the most is the fact that the enemies, they are pretty much the same enemies over and over. They just use pretty much some color swapping here and there. And obviously, the enemies are very reminiscent of Final Fight. Once again, the style that they fight, you have the sliding guys, there's sliding guys with a knife, and which are the same type of guys in Final Fight as well. And so I think you get it. This is pretty much a Final Fight clone, so I'm not gonna refer to that. So let's go ahead and just focus on Riot City itself. So it's actually two different characters, and I guess they're trying to clean up the city, which is Riot City. Okay, now I don't think there's anyone that you have to rescue in this particular game. Okay, so you're just out there beating up enemies. Okay, and whoa. And obviously this is set in some type of post-apocalyptic future. Now, both of the characters, I don't really see much of a difference. They're pretty much the same. I think the other character is just slightly stronger and slower. That's usually how it is. I would have liked it better, as usual, if they actually had a 3-player co-op. Now, I can't remember if this game came out before Streets of Rage, because that was absolutely superior, and in my opinion, it is the best beat 'em up game ever made. Okay, that's my opinion. It's even better than Final Fight. Streets of Rage was probably what they actually wanted to make. And speaking of Streets of Rage, I really wish Streets of Rage would have been an arcade game as well. I would have loved to see how Streets of Rage would have looked if it had no hardware restrictions. Okay, now later on in the PlayStation's life, there was a 3D Streets of Rage sequel, kinda, and I can't even remember the name, but it was absolutely horrible. So I think after Streets of Rage 3, they really never made another game, that was in the whole Streets of Rage universe. There might have been some portable games, like maybe on the Game Genie, but in terms of like, bringing it back to the home console, I don't think that ever happened. That'd be pretty sweet though, if a company, like I think it's Arc Systems, who does the Blue Basil fighting series, if they were to come and make a Streets of Rage with those type of graphics and music, it would be super sweet. So this here, the first boss, it's like a Muay Thai type character, as you could probably tell. And you could obviously use your special, and just like most fighting games, when you use your special, it drains some of your energy. So the whole point of there's really not much in terms of AI as well. Just keep beating them up or keep doing your special until they die. Whoa. Now I myself, I've never passed this game, and the main reason I haven't is because I haven't really wanted to play it further. I think the furthest I got was like the 3rd level. I think that's the furthest I got. And like, check out the map. Looks familiar once again. Oh man, it's hard not to think about Final Fight. It's just so hard. Let me see. Now, as far as I know, I do not remember this game being ported to the Genesis or any home console for that matter. You know, I might be wrong, but I've never seen this before in a home console. And in terms of in the arcades, I've never seen this game in the arcades as well. So it probably wasn't a very popular game, you know, for obvious reasons, you know. And as you can see, the characters are pretty much the same over and over. Whoa, boom. And the character, obviously, you know, they all owe a debt of gratitude to the original popular beat 'em up, which was Double Dragon. You know, that's still legendary, you know. And I also wish that one was remade with modern graphics and stuff. That would be super sweet. Or maybe just like a sequel to it, you know. And as you go further in the game, there's like more and more characters on the screen, more enemies. So I guess that's another positive if you want to look at it that way. They can put a lot of enemies on the screen all at one time without, you know, a whole bunch of slowdown, you know. Wow, and even a continuous screen looks familiar as well. Boom. Now, in terms of other weapons, I don't really think you need any other weapons, you know, and I don't even remember if you can pick up any other weapons. So that is one thing that is different. You can't really pick up like knives, bats, you know, stuff like that. Okay, which would have obviously improved it, you know. It would have added a different strategy element. And normally how you beat these enemies, you just get out of their sight, you know, like move up or down, you know, don't get on the same plane. And that's pretty much it, you know, in terms of beating the enemies. Now the bosses, obviously they do get more difficult as you go along, but they're basically just harder to kill. That's about it, you know. And there's not many bosses that I recall when I was playing this game that were really memorable at all. Okay, much like these other enemies, they're pretty much forgettable. Whoa. Now, out of all these enemies, I've noticed that there's really no female characters, you know, unlike, you know, something in Final Fight or Streets of Rage. I didn't see any female enemies like you would get in those other games. Whoa. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. And there's like really no alternating paths as well. It's just basically left to right. And this one is the elevator scene. You know, I would not be surprised if maybe some of the developers of this game actually worked on Streets of Rage, okay? Because obviously there are some elements in here that I could think back that, wow, this elevator stage was in Streets of Rage as well. Just done a zillion times better. Whoa, see all the enemies that I was talking about earlier? Whoa. Ooh. And see, the enemies aren't really difficult at all. It's really when you have a whole bunch of enemies on the screen, and then the boss fight is where this game really gets difficult. And it's just difficult because there's just a lot of enemies on the screen, you know. It's not really difficult for any other reasons except for that. Ooh. Whoa. And when you throw them, I don't know, it's not a satisfying throw. And I don't think there's any other moves besides those that I just showed you. That one, and then you could, if you stay in one place, you do an elbow drop on them. Boom. And there is no super special that, as far as I know, like Streets of Rage, where you could call your police force to shoot missiles at them. Boom. I wonder what would happen if Streets of Rage, as far as I recall, if it was actually a Street Fighter type game, you know. I keep thinking about Arc Systems once again. That would be pretty sweet if not only did they do a modern beat 'em up, but they also did a Streets of Rage fighting game, you know, with all the anime style graphics. That would be pretty awesome. Whoa, whoa. For a moment. Oh. Alright. So, let me see if I could at least get to the boss. If it's too far, then I probably won't go any further. But let me see if I can get to the boss. Ooh. Alright. Outside again. Okay. So it looks like just more and more enemies. And the boss is coming up soon, but I don't really think I want to go any further with this, and you kind of get the point of this. And so Riot City from Sega, not their best game at all. You know, obviously, an absolutely Final Fight ripoff. I would say a poor man's version of a Final Fight. And so if you actually had any thoughts on Riot City, Streets of Rage, or Final Fight or Double Dragon, or any other type of games that you remember that were similar to this type of beat 'em up, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And as always, if you did enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you can do that at patreon.com/Geekoutdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to Geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.